try and do is actually draw from a kind of rootsy international feel in my music as well. Like at the moment, I use on my performance worship band a kind of Celtic and African influence, which is merging two things together, which I love to do, because I don't want to get sort of typeset into one thing, you know, oh, Dave Bilbrough does folk or Dave Bilbrough does rock. A lot of the songs that I write start with the acoustic guitar and then I work outwards, and some are reflective, prayerful, and some are very rhythmic, and I like to represent that with music. So I like to have I like people like Paul Simon who are using different rhythms and different styles. My wife is a trained percussionist, so that helps, you know, and she's with me in the band, and in fact she's playing timpani with me in my band at the moment, which is interesting because I have folk violin, I have accordion and timpani all going at the same time, so it makes for an interesting fusion. So I love that. But the acoustic guitar is very much at the centre. You know, do praise and worship that can be welcoming to people who aren't Christians, that I like to see happening more. From time to time, I've played in situations like where I love to play like folk clubs, and where I've mixed up some of my songs with some popular songs that people know that they can relate to. And actually there's something really good about that, because you know, people like to hear songs they know who aren't Christians. And you know, when you play something that's meaningful to you, need not necessarily have a great Christian message, but then you put in one of your own songs, people can relate to you as a person, and then that means that that song has got integrity and they'll listen to it. I'm fortunate because actually the record company I've been with right from the beginning, so they are friends, and I respect and regard them. I think it's always one of those things, isn't it? You know, you feel you've got something to share, songs and music and so on, and it's important to have the right vehicles to put those things out, just like this program is a vehicle to put something out. The danger, temptation is then to be controlled, and I'm fortunate. I think that the people that I work with are people who want to serve the body of Christ. My wife is my #1 fan and supporter, and she is great influence on me. Without her encouragement, without her love and knowing that she's with me, because very often it does mean that we're separated. I might be away for extended periods of time. I know that she's right behind me, and more I get my two boys bringing some constructive criticism into what I do. Hey Dad, come on now, that's back in the 80s, you know. We're nearly in the 21st century now, Dave. Dad, not Dave, no, they've not got to that age yet. We're nearly in the 21st century, come on, let's have a bit of hip here, you know, let's get to it. Why do we always have to do things this way, Dad? You know, especially when it comes to church and the way we do our worship in our own home church. Why can't we do things differently? They're asking questions, and that's good. We look at our society and the breakdown of families, the breakdown in cultures where things become very, very tribal, youth generation, middle-aged generation, older generation. The church is there to be that wider expression of all that we should be. People together, black and white, young and old, rich and poor, standing together in his love. So there's a wonderful, tangible picture that takes place when we worship, that is the unseen being made visible, that Christ can unite us on an individual level with himself, but also unite us with one to another. And when we come together in that act of worship, joining with all our different abilities, gifts, skills, education, and ages, there's a wonderful tangible expression of that. I love it in the book of Revelation, book about worship really, where it talks about all the nationalities, all the languages, all the tribes, and then all the tongues coming together. And incidentally, as Kevin Prosh says, a friend of mine, I don't think it would just be a white person playing the guitar who's leading that worship. It'll be many, many different cultures in that worship. But I love that fact that they're all joining together to worship the one central thing that holds the universe together, which is Jesus Christ, the Lord. with his overcoming love, who overcomes all our darkness, all our sin, by the power of the cross and his resurrection.